we saw a very interesting release, a re-release or remaster of a game that was originally released in 2012, which was a very 2012 game for the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 back in the day. A game called Lollipop Chainsaw. Now, Blabs, let me just kind of give you a brief rundown because you're not familiar with this game, are you at all?
Not a whole lot.
Okay, so I have like a quick 30 seconds of what Lollipop Chainsaw is to kind of give you a brief rundown of it. So let's go check it out. Here is Lollipop Chainsaw.
Julia, where are we going?
I need to find Morikawa-sensei. He'll know what to do.
Who's that?
Morikawa-sensei. He's my sensei.
A sensei? Like a teacher?
I didn't know you spoke Japanese, Nick.
Well,
Osekoi, watashimo,
I can't speak Japanese, Juliet. I just know that one word.
Aw, your simple innocence is one of the most attractive things about you.
Yeah.
So, you kind of got this like, girl in scantily clad cheerleader outfit going around with literally a chainsaw. She actually has a sawed-off guy's head on the back of her, right? Like,
that's casual.
It's really over the top. And then you have bonus costumes like this, the seashell costume.
Oh, wow. Wow, I'm surprised we can actually show that.
Let's go.
She's doing nothing.
So there you go.
Wow.
yeah, there you go.
Wait, so this is the game IGN refused to rate? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we're gonna get to that in just a second.
Okay.
So, so this game designer of Lollipop Chainsaw, Yoshimi Yasuda, came out and they actually were able to re-release Lollipop Chainsaw completely uncensored. And this is one of those things that you see, these companies, even it's like 10 years difference. This is only 12 years ago, 2012, and they want to go back and they want to censor the games. Well, he had this post. Says, we have finally been able to re-release Lollipop Chainsaw Repop uncensored. I am proud that we've been able to revive Lollipop Chainsaw, a cult game that has been lying dormant due to copyright issues, as a modern action game. The core content of Repop is an original mode that faithfully recreates the original version scenario, script, gore expressions, cutscene direction, character design, motion, comic style, character introduction, images, costumes, achievements, etc. On the other hand, for those game users who are not so keen on gore, we have also prepared the Repop mode, which expresses damage effects in a pop art style. So we hope that you give Lollipop Chainsaw Repop a try. So it also has like a fun little, pop feel as opposed to the over-the-top gore that the original game had. So it's seeing a re-release. And what's interesting about this, if you recall, you go back to Concord, and that game, the game is obviously no longer on the shelves anymore, as well, for most people.
It's on your shelf, though.
I'm sorry.
Too.
What a flex.
I know. If I have an opportunity, I absolutely will show it off. By the way, I would just like, speaking of Concord, just as a quick side note, I would like to give shout outs to the 2 people who are actively playing Concord right now, or at least have the servers up.
How?
Well, no, there are no servers. I think they're just sitting in the main menu.
Just way to keep the dream alive, guys.
They're probably just sitting in the lobby because it's like, how the heck can you queue up to a game?
Yeah, they're just there
sitting
sitting in the main menu.
People.
Way to keep the dream alive, guys.
But also, I want to know like how accurate Steam charts is, because that's what I've always been wondering. Like, can you opt out of showing that you're playing a specific game and things like that? Like, where are they? How do they get their numbers?
I don't know. But one number that we do want to look into, and they probably tap into the Steam API. That's probably how it works. But 697 was the all-time peak of players when it comes to Concord. Lollipop Chainsaw has been out for roughly, 12 hours right now. And it has already broken the Concord peak of 697 up to 801. So there's actually almost as many players playing right now than there was at an all-time peak of Concord. So I'm not saying this game's like a mega hit or anything like that, but it's a re-release of a game that people were kind of interested in from back in the day, and it is truly the exact opposite of what you see with a game like Concord. So there you go. Kind of interesting stuff. What's also interesting about this is apparently IGN said they're not going to review the re-release repop of Lollipop Chainsaw, as this is from Learning the Law over on X. He said IGN is unwilling to review Lollipop Chainsaw repop because and this is obviously an assumption, probably because it might trigger some of the they-them staff. Instead, they published an article announcing the launch, but reminded the audience they gave it a 5 out of 10, which is unfair. How are they still in business? So as you see down here, talks about how repop is a definitive version of the game, which leaves the story unchanged with the focus on quality of life improvements and additional gameplay content. The game picked up a cult following, but our 5 out of 10 review, they said Lollipop Chainsaw doesn't even attempt to differentiate itself from the genre. And most of what it does try new in the realm of its characters and writing ultimately ends up taking away from the incredible on-paper action game. So there's actually a larger question here. When you see a remake or a remaster of a game, IGN is saying, well, we've already reviewed it once 12 years ago. Why do we need to redo it again? Do you think that's the right take, Kongman?
It's like if it is the same game, I guess like, because like even the developer says that it's the same game, so they have something to hide behind. It's like, and it seems justifiable to, I guess, certain normies, but I think you should still just still review it because it's still a new game for all intents and purposes. Unfortunately, there aren't enough like black lesbians in this game, so they won't review it. But oh yeah, Concord, look at all the fats, look at all these people, look at all the diversity, look at all the diversity, man. Oh yeah, we'll give it a 7 out of 10. It's like, okay, IGN, okay.
No, here's my take on it. So I'm looking at the original review. It's obviously from 2012, and it's by a Mitch Dyer. Now, I wonder, what if they had someone else review the game and give it a different review? Like, why does it always have to be just one person? And then another point to that is, so they're A-okay, like Kongman says, to go and review games with, trans boobies, so fake boobies, but you're afraid of real women's boobies. Right? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're fine with reviewing Hogwarts Legacy, even though there's a trans person in there. And they're like, I don't have trans rights, but there's a tranny in there. Yeah, so, like, their entire score is all over the place because they give everything else a 7 and just Wukong's an 8. IGN, you're full of shit. That's kind of my point. Like, who actually wants to listen to their reviews? What makes them qualified to review?
The idea, if you go back to what they said they talked about how the focus was on quality of life improvements and additional gameplay content, right? Which I think, to me, with a remaster, like if that's your idea of, well, we don't need to review it anymore, that I think those ideas by themselves, just quality of life improvements and additional gameplay content, is definitely worth a review.
Yeah.
You may say, well, why review any remasters? Well, the answer is because they do review remasters, like The Last of Us Remastered, which they gave a 10. Oh, and Persona 3 Reload, which they gave a 9. Oh, and also, while we're at it, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which they gave a 9. So there's obviously reason to do remasters and remakes of games, especially when it comes to this. So there is precedent there, and you wonder if there's a larger narrative at play, just because this game is different than these other ones. The idea of you got a girl with a chainsaw and a cheerleading outfit and seashell bikini going crazy on people. So it's just, it's, as they say, not a good look, IGN. Not a good look.
It's completely ideologically. Yeah, and it's completely ideologically driven. And these people are so hypocritical because they cheer on the OnlyFans models and all that stuff, and all these girls prostituting their bodies on the internet because it's woman empowerment. But then if a male developer creates a game which celebrates female beauty, oh no, that's for incels. That's awful. And it's like, oh, God forbid we appreciate female beauty in video games again. where they're like, oh, it's not realistic. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, there are tons of beautiful women in real life. Not all women are fat. I don't know why they always have to make them fat and ugly and like masculine looking, because that's not how women look. I don't understand the whole like, we have to focus on realism. These are unhealthy beauty standards. There are beautiful women out there. I don't understand why you have to make everyone fat and ugly and masculine looking. And so it's just like this double standards. Like, if men do it, it's wrong, but if women do it, it's okay.
Well, I'll tell you what, one man who is beautiful in their own right is this guy right here. Look at that.
What a hunk.
Woo! Wowie zowie. I'll tell you
Hubba
what.
hubba.
Hubba indeed. Well, thanks IGN. Appreciate your bravery in not reviewing the game that people want you to review. Maybe they actually will. Who knows?